And welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Lance Roberts. Brent Clayton, executive producer. You're listening to the Lance Roberts Show, right here on the Voice of Texas. We're talking a little bit about sex and money with the lovely Mary Jo Rapini. And so we just kind of set up the conversation here, talking a little bit about what's kind of happening at both ends of the spectrum, right? So we have older people, the baby boomers, us.
That's right. Well, I was going to say, don't say older. I think anything over, 40.
You're still like 20. You're still like 29.
I think 40
The rest
qualifies.
of us, we're older. But so as we get older, we're seeing divorce rates go up. Millennials are postponing marriage for a variety of reasons. We look at statistics. 40% of millennials are still living at home on parents' couches. That's kind of hard to get married and have a relationship, right?
That's right. They're in debt, right?
And debt. That's the other big issue. So let's talk just kind of very broad here. How the current environment, and from what you see from the couples you meet with, et cetera, how is today's environment really affecting the intimacy of marriage? And we've talked about before, statistics wise, sex and money. Those are your two top reasons for divorce. What's kind of your general sense?
My general sense is there's not the same level of commitment. I mean, there are options. You don't have to stay married. And because of social media, every patient I have who's coming in is bringing their phones. They're showing me how their partner is cheating via messages on Facebook, on texting. I mean, they pull up their phone. It's a classic evidence, and we never had that before. Also, I think people are growing apart. They're so busy, and we know that the leading cause right now of low libido is lack of sleep. It's not what it used to be. I mean, there used to be many reasons for it. Men who come in getting treated for ED, the first thing we want to do is do a sleep study. We want an apnea score. They want testosterone levels. But basically, if they're not sleeping, they're probably going to end up sleeping with a CPAP because they're exhausted. And when you're exhausted like that, you stop prioritizing the things that really matter to you.
Right. Well, so now that's something I want to get to, talk about prioritization. Yeah. But so how many hours do men, and I guess men or women, what is the recommended number? I mean, we hear 8 hours, right? I need 9 hours sleep. Right. But is it 8? Is it 7? Is it 10? I mean, what is the...
To sleep?
Yeah.
You want at least... It really is individual. Some people can really be restored and they're still secreting enough growth hormone and everything else if they sleep 6 hours. But for the majority of us, we need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And some people need more than that.
Right.
But
and how do you know?
Well, you just kind of know by the way you wake up. And also, if your partner's whacking you all night because you're snoring, that is a very bad sign. I know a lot of couples are like, stop being so mean, and they'll get in a fight during their sleep. But this is a real health hazard. You can die from sleep apnea. Your wife may be saving your life or your husband, but it's usually the guys that snore.
Right.
I hate to say it.
Well, no, and where I see... And I know couples like this.
Yeah.
They literally no longer sleep in the same bedroom.
Bad move.
Because
really
he snores.
bad. Yes, but
I know a couple. They no longer sleep in the same bedroom because the wife snores so bad.
Yeah, but that's not an option you want to take because the body actually, the heart is linked with, everything is cellular and emotional. So if you're not touching your partner's skin at night, you're really losing the essence, a large component to being close and intimate with your partner. And
So is that why my wife puts her foot on me every night?
Yeah, she's just trying she's saving her heart. She's probably saving yours. Yeah. And they've also linked it with growth hormone, and you need that because that's what helps restore ourselves.
So what if, it's, as we kind of talk about this, I want to try to give some solutions along the way as we go. So if somebody's driving home right now and they go, I snore and I'm not getting enough sleep, what are some good first steps to just start solving that? Because I want to talk about lack of sleep and prioritization here next. But if I'm just not getting enough sleep, how do I start getting that?
Well, the best way, everybody's going to say they're too wound up or they don't get tired or they're a night person and their partner's a morning person. But at the end of the day, you can actually train yourself to you should, if one person goes to bed at 10 and one goes to midnight or 1, then have a cutoff time. We're going to go to bed at 11. Maybe stop the screens an hour before because those screens really do wire your brain and it's hard to shut down.
Right. That was an agreement that my wife and I came to, and I tell you, we did this about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it has made all the difference because my phone goes off constantly because
Right.
of emails and things like that. And our agreement 2 years ago was as soon as I walk in the house, so I get home about 7, and as soon as I walk in the house, phones go away.
That's fantastic.
And we just spend time talking, even if we're just watching TV together, but no phones in the bedroom at all because they're dinging or beeping all
Yes.
night long. They disrupt things. So, and that was the best decision we ever made.
Right. Right now, a really good option is also kind of romantic, depending on if you like baths, is a hot bath together. And you have to look at each other. You can even have a hot tea or maybe a glass of wine or port before you go to bed. And although that can disrupt sleep too, but the bath is wonderful
Well, yeah.
because it's
Well,
been
hopefully
known
the bath
to really
leads to more sleep disruption because you're doing other stuff, right?
Yeah,
So-
that's right. But even that is so healthy, and your body needs intimacy and sex. There's no doubt about it that we know it really does help.
Well, so let's talk about prioritization here because that's you brought this up a second ago.
Right.
Because look, I mean, my wife and I both work full-time jobs. My wife takes care of our since I work very long hours.
Right.
My day starts at 5. I get home at 7. So my day is very long, and she takes care of our 4 kids. She cleans the house, she cooks, and works a full-time job. So
Wow.
it's very easy for both of us to get home and say, "I'm just too tired."
Right.
But another thing that we did, and by the way, this isn't genius work that we. This is because we were both married before,
Yeah.
and these were issues that we learned from our previous marriage. Like, we don't want this to happen to us, right? So we made some commitments to each other early on that regardless of what else is going on, there are certain things that we do, and no matter how tired we are, we do certain things on certain times, right? So
Exactly.
but it keeps and we're lucky. I'm not recommending divorce to anybody. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But one of the benefits of being divorced is all of our kids are gone every other weekend.
Yeah.
So we date.
Yeah.
Every other weekend we schedule a date and we have a date
That's
every other weekend. But it helps keep that relationship part alive. But for people that don't have those options, how do you solve that priority problem?
Well, it's little things, Lance. It's things like going for a walk together, holding hands, cooking together. I tell couples to plan a date night once a week, and I don't go for the dinner and then you go home, you're all bloated, you feel fat, you don't feel like making love or anything else. So take turns planning what you want to do. Maybe one night you'll have chocolate night, and maybe one night you'll go play tennis, or one night you'll go to yoga together. It doesn't matter what you do, and don't ever make it so only one person is planning.
Yep.
Take turns with it so you're both equally. I think the key to being happily married is investing in the marriage. And I don't mean monetarily, I mean with your time. You can't say, well, I'm going to just work really hard right now because in a month we're going to go on vacation and then I'll see you a lot. That does not work with relationships. It doesn't work with women, and it usually doesn't work with men because both need more attention than that.
So we got about a minute and a half. We're at top of the hour, and I want to switch this to when we come back, top of the hour.
Yes.
Specifically about investing in money, because
Right.
this is the other big fallacy of this, or the other big part of this is money.
Yes.
And the things that how we cheat with money.
Right.
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 But you talked about social media and what's on the phones now with people bring them in for counseling. Has social media, in your opinion, hurt relationships in the country? I mean, were we better off before we had all this social media and input?
Well, I don't think we were necessarily better off without it. I think the way we manage it, we may have been better off. Some people cannot manage their phone. In other words, they cannot be responsible and shut it off like you guys do. And those are the couples that are going to end up in trouble. If you're not disciplined enough, it's like someone starting to save money or someone starting an exercise program. If you're not disciplined enough to carry it through, then you're going to fail. And that's the same thing with social media.
So when I go out to restaurants with my wife, we'll be sitting there and we'll be talking. Phones are in the car. But then you look over to another table and you see the couple sitting there, they're both on their phone texting each other.
Yep.
That's a problem.
That's crazy. That's insanity. What a waste,
All right, quick break. Be back with Mary Jo Rapini. Sex and money coming up top of the hour, and talking about the infidelity that we have with money as it relates to relationships and why sex and money are the top 2 reasons of divorce for baby boomers. When we come back from the break, Mary Jo Rapini live in the studio. Be sure and get our full feed and full live video online at lancerobertshow.com. And while you're there, if you have questions for her, feel free to email us right off the website. We'll forward them to her so she can answer you as well. So she's happy to do it. Yeah! Free therapy.
Love it.
Yeah, she's going to be going like, what did I just sign up for?
No, I like it. I really do.
All right, be right back. Don't go away.